this video is just majorly for those that are having difficulties with trading. It's not really a video to give you other insights. This is just basically for those that have issues with trading. So now, if you want to know how to trade, you've had difficulties with entries, you've always found it hard, to be able to get in at the right time and at the right moments. The thing we need to understand is that the market, you can never predict it. It's not your father's market. It's nobody's father's market. It's a bunch of information from different people at, different seconds, several things that happen every second. So it's nobody's market. You can hardly predict, but we just need to work by probabilities. For us to work by probabilities, because we don't know what is going to happen with the next candle, but we can always we can have the opportunity to predict, not really predict, but we can say predict, because we are trying to, work by faith, because we don't know what the next candle will be, but from what has been given, we can predict and say this should either go here or go here. And reasons being that is because we have laid down reasons why it should go here, why it should not go here. Now, if you look at the markets now from different candles, you see that there are always at specific points the market turns back. A specific points as which the market turns back. Why is it that at this point the market actually retraces, or it goes down, or it goes up? So that is what we're actually going to be trading, because if you look at it from the daily, from the H4, H1, 15 minutes time frame, you can see that there are times where in which the market, you see it is coming down, it goes back up again, it comes down, it goes back up, it comes down, it goes back up. Now, you see this going down and coming back up. There are several reasons why this market retraces, why this market goes back up from this angle. That we don't know. But one thing that we do know is that it will always go back up at certain prices, at certain time, at a certain points. At those points, we are not very sure. So it's because this is a chart and we want to try to interpret this chart, because we should not forget this is still a chart. This is not money. This is just a chart. It's just because money is involved, is because why? Is because when you place a buy, is with money. But without money, without you placing anything, this is just a chart and you're trying to know whether it's going up or coming down. So now to solve the issue is you need to always look at it from a higher time frame. Now, how do I mean by a higher time frame? Now, for you to know what wants to happen in this present second is because you already know what has happened before. That means that the only reason why you can say today, the price of a Jordan shoe at $500 is too expensive is because you knew that as of yesterday, the price wasn't as high as that. So now that is basically what we are trying to do. Now we are going to be trying to predict what will happen now, the next minute, the next hour, because we know from past that this has happened and this should happen. So it's more like that. So it's not like we're really going to be very sure what we are doing, but it's a higher percentage, is an edge, because we know that at this certain point before, the market has reversed. So we try to always make sure we look for those points. So those points in the market is what we are trying to aim at. Now, let's start with like Euro USD. Now, for you to be able to get this points out and be able to understand this market better, we always, because I am a day trader, I try to look for trades every day. I don't try to look for trades every week. I don't know. I enjoy the market for now. I still enjoy trading every single day. So I start with the day, with the daily time frame. So now, if you start with the daily first, some other people start with a higher time frame, the weekly, the monthly. I still just start with the daily time frame because I just want to make money for them maybe in the next 1 hour, 2 hours, at max 3 hours. I'm not willing to stay in the market for that long, leaving my account balance fluctuating by people I don't know of. So basically, I just stick with the daily time frame. When I'm ready, I want to trade and I'm out. So I start with the daily time frame now. This daily time frame is where we really need to be able to pay attention to some certain points, because these points already is trying to, the chart is trying to interpret to us that at this certain points, the market reversed. Why, we don't know, but we just want to pick those certain points because those certain points means that when the present price gets to that point, something will happen. What will happen, we don't know. That is why we need to be able to interpret candles. So now we are going to be using a very favorite tool, which is the horizontal line. You can get it if it's not on your own. MetaTrader, if you're either using MT5 or TradingView, let me help you with that. Okay, if you have anything on your chart, you can clear that with this layer objects. You clear out your charts, which is very important. I want your charts to be as clean as possible, please, so that we can both be on the same path. So now this is if you want to get, for you that uses the trading view, this is a horizontal line. So we're actually going to be doing the same thing with MetaTrader 5. We'll be doing the same thing in trading view. It's just that I'm using MetaTrader 5 because most brokers require you trading with MetaTrader 5. I know most people, some people use trading view because it's way cleaner, but I will explain it at both ends. So for whoever is watching, if you're on MetaTrader 5 or TradingView, they should be able to help. So we start with the daily time frame first. We use the horizontal time frame. Now, one thing I want to let you know now is that I don't want you once, especially once you're in the daily time frame, I don't want you going to mark up areas that are like somewhere like this. And honestly, from this place, because this is the daily time frame, we understand that this is the daily time frame. One candle signifies one day. That means one candle is one day. One candle is one day. So now, knowing that if one candle is one day, and we know that it's not in a trading lifetime will a candle of one day go to this. So we know that such distance, we try to, eradicate it. What majorly we are trying to find out is this area itself, because we want to make money as a daily trade, as a day trader. So basically, this area is what we want to understand. So because we're on the daily time frame, we try to look for what we call the support and resistance. In trading, we are looking for this specific point at which the market reversed. Now, being that every time that the market gets to this point, there's a reason why the market reacted and came back down. Why, we don't know. Is it news? We don't know. Why it did that? We don't know. But we know that for the market to have reversed on this space, this zone, that means this zone is a very important zone. So these zones are what we try to mark out. Now, on the daily time frame, what you need to do now is mark out these zones at which the market reversed. Now, because like I said earlier, the market is a daily time frame, there are a lot of the candles to move that big, in a whole day time frame, it's quite unrealistic. So for this one, I would choose this. And the reason why we need to make the lines thicker is because we need to differentiate these lines. We'll be doing the same thing in the daily, the H4 and the H1. So now when we are starting from the daily, we need to make the lines, much bigger. We know that this is the line for the daily time frame. We need to differentiate. So for you, it can be a different color. Just make sure that the three different time frames, you have three different colors, and make sure that the lines are of different sizes, so you can make the daily, thicker, the H4 mid size and the H1 the smaller size. So for this one, I can look at it now, trying to interpret this chart. We can see that there is a support that held at this point, right? And there's a resistance that held at this point, right? Now we can also look at that this point too. Also a point. There's also a reason why the market reversed from this point. Can you say it? There's a reason. We don't know that reason, but we know that there's a reason why the market reacted off this point. So these points, what do? We try to keep them. Now we've done it for the daily. We'll go back to the H4. Now, in the H4 time frame now, we also have to do the same thing. We have to look for points at which the market decided to reverse. Why did the market decide to reverse? We don't know, but we need to know and understand that the things that happen on the higher time frame are more, is a more of like an agreement, you know. Imagine, let's just say a couple of days, for a couple of months, there's a reason why something never went above this. So why did the market not go above this is what we are trying to find out about. We're trying to understand why these candles are trying to refuse passing, you see, these zones. Now, if you come from the daily, like I said earlier, if you pick from the daily, you look at it from the daily and you try to understand why is the market trying to refuse these zones. Something made this market go back up. So that is what we are trying to understand now. We don't know why it happened. We don't know whether it was maybe an outbreak or something. We don't know disease. Anything could have caused this market to have gone up, but we don't know why. But we understood. What we can both agree is that there's a reason why something happened here and it reversed. Something also happened here and it reversed. You can agree with me, right? So for something like that to happen here, that it happened here, it happened here, it happened here, and this is now, if you look at this, this this is a chart that's coming from like April 2000, is like May 2023. So if you look at this coming from 2023, you understand that for this number of candles to have happened over a period of months, over like this is a year now, you understand that that means something really might have happened at that period, you know? Why it bounced off, it came back up, it came down. You see, there are rejections at this point. That we don't know, but we are trying to find out and we are trying to follow that market. Now we've done that for day one, we go for H4. Now, in the H4 time frame, what we also do is we look at where the present market, always remember that, look for where the market presently is at. We are not trying to mark out all support and resistance in the market. We are just trying to focus on where the market presently is, because this is where we want to make our money. It's this zone. At this moment, all we are trying to do is find a big good place where we can get support and resistance to this one and make the money. We're not trying to find out all the support and resistance for, for the whole period of time. It's just presently what we are dealing with. Now, if you look at it again, also in the H4 time frame, we can pick up a horizontal line. So we can also see that at this point, okay, and there's something else. If maybe you're finding it hard to also pick, you can also use this one, the crosshair, in which it's also a line tool, but not, it's just more like you can use it to be able to trace those lines. Once you see it, then once you can use this to pick out those support and resistance, then you can use your horizontal line to make it, like a permanent line. Like this now, we can see that there was once a support, you see, this was once a resistance, once a support, once a support, once a resistance, once a resistance, once a resistance, once a support. What do? You come to this, you mark out that zone, and you put it. Now, because this is the H4 time frame, what do? Let's give it a different color. I could give it maybe this blue, make it a thinner line, you see. Now we understand that this is the H4 line. This is the daily time line, and this is the H4 line. Now we are going to look for another one, another support and resistance. Okay, we can see 1 year. See, there's 1 year. This is a resistance, this is a support, this is a resistance, this is a support, this is support. Now, what do? We mark out that line again. You see, that's another H4 line. So now we try to also look for, another one within the charts. I think this is I think this one is a good mark. This is a good mark, yeah. Yeah. I think this one is also a good mark. This is also a good mark. You can also mark this one outright. But just make sure while doing it, you don't put so many lines on your charts. You don't put so many lines. Try to avoid having too many lines on your charts. But with this, I think So now with that, you can also go back to now to the H1 time frame. Now in the H1 time frame now, what you are trying to do now is not trying to see whether maybe there's a specific one you've missed. Maybe you've missed, but when you try to check, as I said, you have to always pay attention to where the market presently is. Now at this point, you can see that most of the support and resistance have actually been picked out. Now, if you look at it again, the H1 time frame again, you can look at what this candle is actually printing out at this present moment. You can look at it again. This is another, this is another support and resistance. This is coming down, going up. This is coming down, this is going up at this specific point. There has not been a concrete decision yet, but seems there's already a support and resistance in this present market at the moment. So what you can do again, because this is an H1 time frame, is just for the short period of time, is not for the long one, so you don't get confused. You can mark down out like this. You can change this one's color. You can make it, put it like let's say, yep, dark orange. That should be fine. So you see where I'm saying coming from. Now with the 15 minutes time frame, you see it's the 15 minutes time frame. What does it do? The 15 minutes time frame gives you a clearer picture of what is presently happening in the markets. Now, if you look at it now from yesterday, if you see what happened. It exactly gave you these turnout points at which the market will reverse. Do you understand? It gives you an exact point. Now you can look at this one again. Also, you can see what the market is doing presently. It has reacted off a previous line of support and resistance of the 1 hour time frame. Now, if you look at the 1 hour line we drew here, you see that is what is presently reacting right now on the 15 minutes time frame. So now if actually you were in the market during this period and you saw this candle week rejection, you see at this point now, if you had entered here, your stop loss is around here, 50 points. Your main target will be between this point and this point. You see it. So basically, that's how trading is. That's just the full process of trading and how to enter a trade. Let's do another one. Let's try the trading view so that maybe for those that will see this more clearer here, maybe that's quite difficult to see. Like I said earlier, if you have anything on your charts, you can always go here, clear the charts, and come back to it. So let's use, for those that might be confused, okay, let's try Bitcoin. This is BTC. Let's try Bitcoin. Let's do the same thing. Like I said, always make sure that your time frame, the major time frame you want on your selection list should always just be the daily 4 hour, the 1 hour, and the 15 minutes time frame. Like I said, you just want to make money just in a day. That is why we trade. That is how I trade. Not for everybody, but that's how I trade. I just want to make money presently for just that day. So now the same thing we do over here with the trading view again. For those that understand trading view better, that will understand clearly. So we'll do it over again. Like I said, if it's just starting a trade, maybe you just want to enter the trade for today. First thing you do, clear out your chart. Make it as clean as possible. Make it so fresh. Make it look clean. If you're trying to understand what the market is doing, it helps it better for you to be able to, make money off the chart. Not trying to say the chart should go this way or this way. You think it should go this way, you believe it should go this way because of some previous analysis you've done before. So now we should always remember that this chart, it's always a chart. If you were into science, maybe earlier in school, doing physics, you understand a chart is a chart and it's an interpretation of numbers. Forget money is being attached to this. This is just a chart, and it's just interpretation of numbers. And when you say something is an interpretation of numbers and it's just a chart, what does it mean? You are just trying to know movements at which this candle is going up or is going down. We don't know why it's doing that, but we just want to understand why is it doing that. So best thing we do is we try to understand the market from a very higher time frame, because why? A higher time frame helps us to understand, the markets better. Would you rather believe, if somebody comes to you and tells you that I'm a doctor for the past couple of years, and someone that comes to meet you and tells you I'm a doctor with an experience of 6 months, who would you prefer to do the surgery? That's the same thing we are trying to do. So we are trying to get the time frame from a higher, we are trying to get our decision making from a higher time frame, because we believe and we trust that the things that have happened, the decisions that happened, couple of months, couple of days, it's much more, it's much more guaranteed to follow than to, following something that is just new and fresh. So the same thing now we're on the BTC, we want to try to predict, we want to try to understand. Let's try to avoid predict. I keep saying predicting. We're trying to understand the market and trying to know where the market is going. So like it's a daily time frame now. We start from the daily time frame. What do we do? As like I always say, we use our line, our tool. This line tool in TradingView is automatic already. It comes with it, so you can always get that. You see it here cross, where you see eraser arrow dots, you see it cross. So what this line does is that it helps you to trace it before putting the horizontal line so that you don't get confused. So what we are basically doing is that we are looking for support and resistance. We are looking for place where the market reversed and where the market peaked as a support, as a support. So now, like this one too, if you see this place, this was once a support. It's a once resistance. It was once used as a resistance. Now this place is now the support. So we try to pick up this market. We try to mark up such places. So this was once a previous support. Like always, you change the setting, make sure the line is thicker, compared to the other, we use a different color. I think the previous one we used the black, so we could use black for this one. Now we also look for another support and resistance. We can see one here. We can see 1 year, right? Yeah. This is 1 year. That's one there. That's for the daily time frame. Okay, can we get another one? Yeah, we can get someone around here. So now we'll come back to from the daily, we'll go to the H4 time frame. We're trying to get best entries for the present moment. Remember, we are not trying to mark up every line. We just want to know what wants to happen presently so that we can make money off the markets. So with this now, we have to, we're trying to get those zones, the lines, support and resistance, so that we know the places at which the markets can reverse possibly. If we can look at this, I see a support and resistance zone around this place. This is one, yeah, yeah. Now we are in H4 time frame. We can change the color. This is another one, yeah. You will see this. This was one support. Supports, yeah. So you see, we are just basically trying to trace out those places that was once used as support and resistance. Now that we've done that for the H4, what do we do? Now we'll come back to, let's check, is there any other clear spots we can get? Yeah, I think there is one here. Yeah, you can see one here. There's one here. So now we can get one around the yes. We get one there. So now we're done with the H4 time frame, I believe. So now we'll go to the H1 time frame. We're trying to see whether we could get another clear support and resistance. But at this point, uh, are there clear support and resistance in this place? Not really. So, yeah, there's a clear support and resistance here. This is 1 year. So now we can come change this one because this is the H1 time frame. We can see 1 year. We don't know whether the market will get down up there, but we try to also mark them out. This helps you to prepare yourself for what the market is about to do. We don't know what the market is about to do, but we are waiting to see what the market is about to do. So I think another one, we can get another 1 year in the H1. This is 1 year. Yep. So you see, basically, that is all we need to do. Now you come to the 15 minutes time frame. And now all what you do need to do now is wait and understand what the market is trying to do. Now, if you remember what we drew the lines for, the green lines are for the H1, the blue lines are for the H4 time frame, and the black lines are for the daily time frame. Now, what I want you to understand now is that seeing the way the market is going now, the market is going up. We don't know what will happen, but we understand that from previous markings, we've understood that this is the H4 time frame. This is a line of one support and resistance. This is another line of a support and resistance. This is another line of a previous. All these lines are previous support and resistance of different time frames. This is the daily. So we understand that this one is more stronger than this one, and this one is more stronger than this one. So now different time frame has its own colors, and different time frame has its own strengths. So at different strengths, what you are trying to do now is wait for where the market will either pick support or it picks resistance. So that's we don't know. What we are waiting for is patiently waiting for the markets to come to us now. So now what we need to understand now is that this is the point where we wait for the markets to give us what? A support and resistance. So now drawing support and resistance lines is for we to later come and follow those lines. This is 1 year. I can see one in a 1 hour. We missed this. See? You see? So basically, that is all we are trying to do in the market. So now, if it also comes and it holds here and it comes down and it holds here, what do? You look for sells. And either your choice is either this way or to maybe to this point. For So one thing you need to understand is that let the markets let the markets be able to create the support and resistance for you so that you are the one to follow its direction, not your own direction. Now, if you look at previous markets, you can see one support and resistance. What did they do? The market kept crashing down to another support and resistance. So basically, that's what the market does. The market tries to find new demand and supply points. It tries to find new points of support and resistance in the markets. So now it's for you to now mark out previous support and resistance, mark out previous demand and supply, and try to follow those directions. When you follow those directions, it's much more easier and less emotional when you trade. So it is not your doing, it is not your own actions. Now, let me give you an example. Now, look at this BTC of yesterday. Let's just assume you took a buy from here and you were hoping that, okay, it's either it gets to maybe somewhere like here. Now, if you look at this market from interpretation part of you if you are looking at it on the 15 minutes time frame. Remember, like I always say, let this be your only time frame you are dealing with. Daily, H4, H1, and 15 minutes. Leave the other time frames. They are quite complicated. You are new and possibly you are having issues with understanding candles. But with the 15 minutes time frame is much more of like it picks the more of the deciding movements. If you are going to the 5 minutes, 1 minute, you are getting yourself more confused. So it's better you stick with this 15 minutes, the H1. It's much more direct. You understand the market better. So with the 15 minutes splits that 1 hour candle and makes you understand, gives you a better understanding to what is happening in the markets. So now look at it. If you had picked a buy from this place, going up to this place, and you saw these multiple rejections, and you know, naturally knowing that in trading, once you are seeing weak rejections at point of support or resistance, what do? It means it's going opposite of that direction. Same thing that is happening here. So you need to understand the candle patterns itself when you are trying to enter and exit a trade. Once you are seeing candle patterns like this, so basically, that is all about trying to enter a trade and trying to, put yourself in getting into a trade and coming out profitably.